Yeah, in my presentation, I would like to talk about four topics. The first will be the regulatory framework. The second topic will be compliance requirement. And the third topic will including the information regarding some case study on administrative sanction for violation in the field of cosmetics in Vietnam. And the last topic will be the part for the question and answer. Now we will start with the Vietnam regulatory framework for cosmetic. In general, the cosmetic products in Vietnam are mainly regulated by three legal documents. The first is the circular number 06/2011 and the relevant change in circular number 29/2020, and the last is the official dispatch number 1609 on guideline for classification of cosmetic. And kindly note that Vietnam is also the member of the Asian Cosmetic Committee and agree to implement the Asian Cosmetic Directive. Therefore, all the cosmetic regulations in Vietnam are also aligned with Asian cosmetic guidelines. Now we will go to the definition of cosmetic products in Vietnam. In Vietnam, cosmetic product is any substance or preparation intended to be placed in contact with the various external parts of the human body, or contact with the teeth, or contact with the mucous membrane of the oral cavity, and the substance of preparation need to having a view exclusively or mainly to cleaning them, perfuming them, changing their appearance, and are correcting body odor, and are protecting them or keeping them in good condition. Now we have some example about the cosmetic product in Vietnam. For example, the cream, lotion, gel for skin care, or some makeup powder or hair care product. And now Vietnam apply a simple 5-step decision-making process to identify one product is cosmetic in Vietnam or not. Now we'll go to the 5-step presented here. In the first step, you need to go to the answer the question. And the question is that, does the product concerned contain only ingredient permitted by the ACD and no ingredient banned by the ACD? ACD means Asian Cosmetic Directive. And if the answer is yes, we will come to step 2 regarding the target size of the product. And the question is that, is the product intended for the contact with the various external part of the human body, or with the teeth, or with the mucous membrane of the oral cavity? And if yes, we will next go to the next step with the question is that, is the product intended exclusively or mainly to clean, perfume, change the appearance, and correct body odor, and protect to keep the defined part of the human body in a good condition? Continue. If the answer is yes, we move into the presentation of the product. And the question is that, is the product presented as treating or preventing disease in human being? Now, if the answer is no, we will come to the first step to identify the function of the product. And the question is that, does the product permanently restore, correct, or modify physiological function by exerting a pharmacological, immunological, or metabolic action? And now, if the answer is no, we can confirm the product is cosmetic. And the answer is that no, the product will be not cosmetic in Vietnam. Now we'll go to the component of the cosmetic, and it's very important factor. In Vietnam, the component of a cosmetic product must meet the update annex of the Asian Cosmetic Directive. We need to review the Annex 2, Annex 3, Annex 4, Annex 6, and Annex 7 to check whether or not the ingredient of the cosmetic product will be banned to be used in cosmetic or only can use in the some condition, specific condition, yet or the coloring agent is allowed to be used or not. It's a similar situation for the preservative and for the UV filter. Yeah. And in next, we will check about the competent authority. In Vietnam, the competent authority for cosmetic is the Drug Administration of Vietnam. We can briefly DAV under the Ministry of Health. And to manage the cosmetic product, the DAV will conduct the following activity. They will review and approve the product notification dossier, and then they will conduct the post-market surveillance activity, getting product sample and audit the PIF, means product information. And DAV will in charge of investigate the complaint from the customer, the information regarding the adverse event of cosmetic product in the Vietnam market. And they have the right to give an administrative sentence on the cosmetic violation. Before sale a cosmetic in Vietnam market, it is required to that the local distributor need to conduct the cosmetic notification procedure with the DAV to obtain a receipt number for the cosmetic. It can be called like product registration procedure for cosmetic in Vietnam. And the second step that the distributor must prepare and keep the product information file. We can call a PIF at the office, and then the authority will carry out the post-market inspection when the product is on the market. However, Vietnam laws also provide some exceptions in which the import of cosmetic in some special situation is no need to do the cosmetic notification. And there are three situations follow. The first situation is that the importer imports cosmetic in order to study and doing trial in Vietnam. And the second situation is that the importer receives the cosmetic as a gift. And the last situation is that the importer imports cosmetic not for sale, only for displaying at a fair or gallery or other temporary import cosmetic for re-export later. Then who can be a cosmetic registration in Vietnam? For imported cosmetic products, the registration is normally a local distributor, and it will be a company licensed to chase cosmetic product in Vietnam, and they will need to take full responsibility for the product safety, efficacy, and quality. As to the manufacturer, the cosmetic manufacturer must meet requirements of cosmetic GMP agent or other equivalent condition. Yeah. Now we will talk about the cosmetic notification procedure. The required document will include three kind of documents. The first will be the notification form with the standard data, and the second will be the letter of authorization from the cosmetic manufacturer or from the cosmetic owner, granting permission to the local distributor to distribute the cosmetic in the Vietnam market. And the last document will be a certificate of free sale. However, there is three cases in which the certificate will be accepted. The first, the cosmetic is produced in the country which is a member of the CPTPP. And the second is that the cosmetic is exported and circulated in a member country of CPTPP. And the last situation is that the cosmetic product was registered in any Asian country. Or we can submit the cosmetic notification dossier via online via Vietnam National Single Window. Yeah, and after we submit and pay the fee, it takes about 7 to 10 working days. The DOV will issue a receipt number for the cosmetic notification dossier, and it will be the registration or license, and will be valid for 5 years. And after 5 years, if the local distributor continue to distribute the product in Vietnam, it's required to conduct a new registration procedure for cosmetic. For CFS, if the CFS is have no expiry date, indicate clearly on the CFS, the certificate needs to be issued within 24 months. Yes. Now we will come to the notification form. I think it's the most important document within the registration dossier for cosmetic. In the notification form, in standard form, you need to declare the information regarding the product, such as the name of product, the list of shade or variant, product type, intended use of product, and product presentation, and some information regarding the manufacturer, local distributor, importer, and especially cosmetic ingredient list. In cosmetic ingredient list, the distributor needs to confirm that the product does not contain any prohibited substance in according to the Annex 2 to Annex 7 of the Asian cosmetic ingredient listing. And for the ingredient of the product, it is required to indicate the full ingredient name. And if there is any restrict ingredient, it needs to show the percentage. And another part that the local distributor need to commit many statements, such as they need to declare that the product meets all the requirement of the Asian Cosmetic Directive, and need to ensure that the product technical and safety information is ready and available for the inspection later. And the distributor also need to notify, commit to notify the authority of any serious adverse event as soon as possible by telephone, by fax, email, or in writing, no later than 7 calendar days after their first knowledge about the matter. And they need to fulfill the report form of adverse event within 8 calendar days from the date of notification to the authority. Yeah, and some other commitment. In the second part, I think it's the very important responsibility of the distributor that they need to prepare the product information file, including 4 parts in according with the Asian guidance, in which the part 1 including the administrative document and product summary. For example, in part 1, we need to care about the label, product, and package insert, because such document have not yet reviewed by the authority during the registration procedure. And the manufacturer need to issue a manufacturing statement to commit that the product was manufactured according to Asian's cosmetic GMP guideline. And the summary of the product, like a safety assessment, summary of side effect, or the summary of document supporting for the product claim. And kindly note that the part 1 of the PIF must be immediately presented to the inspector during the post-market inspection, in which the product label is one document will be reviewed carefully by the authority. Yeah, now we will go to part 2 and part 3. The part 2 including the quality data of the raw material of cosmetic and including the specification and test method of raw material and the data on the safety of the raw material. You can get the data on the safety of raw material based on the data from the supplier or the published data or from the report of the scientific committee like Asian Cosmetic Scientific Body or EU Scientific Committee on Consumer Product or the US Cosmetic Ingredient Review Board. About the part 3 including the quality data of finished product, including the formula of the product, information about the production, such as the information of manufacturer and manufacturing process, and some specification and test method of the finished product, including the limitation of microbiological and corresponding testing method. And if the product have the durability is below 30 months, it needs to show the summary report of the product stability. Now we will go to the last part of the PIF, the part 2 as a part 4, including the safety and efficacy data of the product, finished product, including the safety assessment on the finished product, the CV of the assessor, and the report on the adverse event, and the full report of the efficacy assessment of the product if the product has a claim. Kindly note that the part from part 2 to part 4, if it's not available at the time of inspection, may be represented within 15 to 60 days from the inspection date as requested by the inspector. Now we are finished on the first part. We will go to the second part about the compliance requirement of product. Yeah, in Vietnam, the cosmetic labeling is a very important issue. In general, the cosmetic label is stipulated by circular number 06/2011 on cosmetic, decree number 43/2017 on goods labeling, and Asian requirement on cosmetic label. Yeah, and kindly note that in cosmetic label must contain some compulsory information in Vietnamese language. For example, name of function of product, complete ingredients, instruction of use, country of origin, and name and address of distributor, weight and volume of product, manufacturing date or expiry date or best to use before date in format of DD, MM, and date, month, year. And the compulsory information also include the warning about the use safety and manufacturing batch number of the product. In many cases, cosmetic label contains the product claim. So in any special precaution must be listed on the label, including the precaution listed in the Asian Cosmetic Directive Annex, especially under the column title Condition of Use and Warning which will be printed on the label. For example, if the product contains tetraborate, it must include the sentence, do not to be used for children under 3 years of age, and rinse well on the product label. And finally, note that the cosmetic product cannot use the invalid claim, such as treating or preventing disease, restoring hair cell, removing old oil from the skin, removing scar. However, such invalid claim may be softened to become acceptable. For example, we can revise the claim removing old oil from skin into helping to remove oil from skin. In such case, the softened claim is okay. Yeah. What's the language for the labeling? It is required that all the compulsory information of the cosmetic label must be in Vietnamese language, except some information which is accepted to be used a Latin language, for example, in English. Yeah, the first information is the international or scientific name of the ingredient, which is cannot be translated into Vietnamese, or if can be transcribable but having no meaning. And the second information can be kept in a Latin language, is the name and address of the overseas manufacturer. However, the country name must be translated into Vietnamese language. And another note that if the original packaging is in another language, a sticker may be used, maybe stick on the packaging to include the compulsory information. However, the sticker must not cover the original information on the package. And it is acceptable if you use a multi-language label, such as a label in both Vietnamese and English language. Now we will talk about the advertising. The advertising of cosmetic product must follow the circular number 9/2015 and issued by the Ministry of Health to stipulate the approval for content of advertisement for some special product, including for advertisement of cosmetics in Vietnam. Now, so it is required to obtain a certificate for advertising content before conducting advertisement activity for cosmetics in Vietnam. How to get the certificate of the advertising cosmetic in Vietnam? It is required to submit a dossier to the Province Department of Health, where the head office of the distributor is located. And advertising content of a cosmetic must be appropriate to the registration dossier and proving the safety and efficacy of the cosmetic product. It means all the product included in the PIF keeping at the distributor office. In general, the advertising content of a cosmetic must contain the following information. The first is product name, the second is the function and efficacy of the product, and the third is the name of address of the distributor and any applicable warning of use of the product. And now we will talk about the post-market surveillance activity conducted by the authority in Vietnam. The cosmetic sample may be collected and tested randomly from the marketing product in Vietnam market. It means that the authority will go to will check the market and get the cosmetic sample randomly. And then they will test the cosmetic sample about the heavy metal and microbiological limit and check whether or not the limit is meet regulation as indicated at the annex number 6 of circular number 6 spread 2011. And they will check cosmetic ingredient in the product tested to see if the ingredient comply with the requirement under the annex of the latest version of the Asian Cosmetic Directive. And they can check for the product label to see if it comply with the labeling regulations in Vietnam. And then they will check for they will audit the PIF. And if they discover any violation, they will give us a sanction, administrative sanction. So how about the sanction? The sanction here maybe include the monetary fine or the recall the product, and they cancel the notification receipt. They request to do the media announcement about the violation. Now we will come to the third part of my presentation today. Is some information about the actual case regarding the administrative sanction for the violation in the field of cosmetics in Vietnam. Yeah, for the case one, for the product namely cleansing shower gel and feminine gel, and the sanction date is in September 2021 with two violations. The first violation is that a domestic product batch did not meet the quality standard, particularly the limit for the total aerobic microorganism in cosmetic. According to the test result on random sample conducted by the Center of Testing Drug, Cosmetic and Food of Bình Thuận Province. And the second violation is that product label did not have information of the distributor. And about the penalty, the authority request to recall and withdraw the circulation of the violating batch of product on the market. About the K2, with the date of sanction is in July 2021 with the product namely Thema Centella skincare. And in this case, the authority discovered a violation is that a domestic product batch does not meet the quality standard, namely the limit of total aerobic microorganism in cosmetic. According to the test result conducted by Center for Testing Drug, Cosmetic of Ninh Bình Province. And in this case, the authority imposed penalty that they request to recall and see the circulation of the violating batch on the market. In the next case, with the sanction on June 2021, with the product name lipstick ultimate color code 2, with the violation is that a product batch contain a coloring pigment red, which is a substance is prohibited from being used in the cosmetic product. This conclusion is according to the result of the test conducted by Center for Testing Drug, Cosmetic and Food of Quảng Ngãi Province. And another violation that the test result is not matched with the formulation notified in the registration dossier. So the authority impose a penalty that they request to recall and seize the circulation of the violating batch on the market. We will go to the K4 with the sanction on 4 May 2021 in the product name anti-wrinkle whitening cream. In this case, there are 3 violations. The first is that the test product batch contains dexamethasone, which is prohibited from being used in cosmetic. The test was done by the Center Institute of Drug Testing. And the second violation is that the product has not yet granted any registration number. And the third violation is that the product manufacturer, the domestic manufacturer, have not yet granted any certificate of eligibility for cosmetic production. And in this case, the penalty include a recall, requesting for recall and seize the circulation of the product on the market and destroy all the violating product. In case 5, we talk about the product, namely CC white cream. With the violation is that the product have a label, have not enough or incorrect compulsory information as a group of the cosmetic label. And in this case, the authority impose a monetary fine equivalent about $370 US. Yet in this case, we cannot identify the specific name of the product on the sanction decision. And however, the violation is that the advertising cosmetic product without being certified or approved by an authority. Yet, and in this case, the penalty was imposed, including the monetary fine of $1,700 US. And also there is an additional penalty that is forced to remove and delete all the advertising material. And in case 7, on product name Skin Coffee and Coconut mask, we see there are 3 products here. Yet it is night cream and bandage gel. With the violation is that the product has a formula was not correct with the information indicated in the registration dossier. And now there are 3 penalties, including the monetary fine and request to recall and destroy a violating product, and the the authority they send the subject to the DAV to revoke the receipt number of the product. And in this case, we are talking about the product, namely Antipode Worship Skin Defense Antioxidant Serum and Skin Spot Bandaging Gel. With the violation is that the label of this product includes the information is not correct with the nature of product, and so the authority imposed the penalty, including monetary fine and recall and destroy a violating product, and send a suggestion to the DAV to revoke the registration number. In this case, with the product for hair, yes, to hair care, A violation of 5 product for hair care is that the product has formula is not correct with the approval registration dossier. So in this case, the penalty includes a monetary fine and request to recall the violating product to fix their label. So in the last case, case 10, the case study 10, so we are talking about 2 products for hair care. A violation in this case is that the label of 2 products did not have sufficient mandatory information as required by the labeling regulation for cosmetic. And in this case, the penalty is that the monetary equivalent to the nearly 2,000 US dollars and request to recall the violating product to fix their label.